Welcome to SpeedyPodz, episode 39. So, imagine turning on your faucet and just a tiny trickle comes out. Or finding out your town's electricity might be rationed by, 2027.
Yeah, literally ration.
Right. And all because some massive warehouse down the street is just busy generating code for a tech startup. We've been looking through, a whole stack of corporate expense data and supply chain memos.
And local news reports, too, yeah.
Exactly. So today our mission is to unpack the explosive financial and, physical consequences of this current AI business boom.
Because, it's so easy to treat AI as this invisible, weightless magic just floating up in the cloud somewhere.
Right.
But the data we're looking at shows it's creating absolute chaos in real-world economics.
Oh, for sure.
Let's just look at the enterprise adoption numbers for a second. Everyone assumes OpenAI is the default choice for businesses, right?
Yeah.
But recent expense tracking across 50,000 companies shows Anthropic has officially overtaken them.
Wait, really? Anthropic they're in the lead now?
Yeah, actually, they hit 34.4% adoption compared to OpenAI's 32.3%.
Wow. Okay, let's unpack why that's happening. Because Anthropic's CEO reported an 80x surge in annualized revenue growth in just the first quarter.
80x is just insane.
It really is. And that kind of hypergrowth creates this massive gold rush mentality, right? It's honestly like trying to buy into a chaotic, completely unregulated VIP club line. Desperate buyers are using these heavily layered things called SPVs.
Right, special purpose vehicles.
Yeah. Since Anthropic isn't public, middlemen are essentially setting up temporary pop-up companies, the SPV, just to pool money together.
Exactly, just to pool the money and buy secondary shares from early employees, and they're charging investors upward of 10% in fees just for the privilege.
Which is just wild.
Oh, and what's even wilder about these pop-up funds is that they operate in a completely unregulated gray market.
Yeah.
So Anthropic's lawyers are now aggressively cracking down on it.
Oh, I bet. What are they doing?
Well, they've issued notices that any stock transfers made through these unapproved SPVs are completely void. So outside investors who, pooled their money and paid those massive markups are suddenly waking up to find those shares are entirely worthless.
Oh, man. The company just straight up does not recognize them as owners.
Nope, not at all.
So, okay, the staggering financial demand is basically breaking the private stock markets. But as we saw in the supply chain reports, it is literally hitting physical limits on Earth, too.
Yes, and this cascading hardware crisis isn't just about big tech companies fighting. It impacts, anyone trying to build or buy a computer right now.
Because AI data centers require massive amounts of DDR5 RAM, right? Like that ultra-fast memory to process all that data.
And they're absorbing so much of the global DDR5 supply that consumer PC memory has become completely unaffordable. Because of that shortage, motherboard manufacturers are projecting up to a 30% drop in their own sales.
A 30% drop just because they can't get the memory. That's huge.
Yeah, the silicon supply chain is shifting so rapidly that Apple is actually cutting its decade-long exclusive reliance on TSMC.
Wait, the world's leading chip manufacturer? Apple is stepping away from them.
Exactly. They're stepping back to strike a preliminary chip deal with Intel just to make sure they have enough supply.
I have to push back a bit here, though. If this technology is supposed to, make our lives more efficient, how are local communities supposed to handle this massive, sudden drain on physical resources?
Well, that's the stark local reality. They often just can't sustain it.
Because we're talking about dropping supercomputers into rural neighborhoods, right?
Exactly, which is why U.S. communities are actually fighting back. There are currently 78 active data center moratoriums across the country. Like when a facility processes AI, those thousands of servers generate incredible amounts of heat.
Right, they run super hot.
Yeah, so to keep them from melting down, they need industrial-scale liquid cooling systems. Those consume millions of gallons of water. And giant exhaust fans that just hum loudly 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Hill County, Texas actually just paused rural construction specifically over water and noise concerns.
Wow. So it's not just a quiet server rack in a back room somewhere. It operates like a heavy industrial plant.
It really does, and the energy consumption is staggering. Most shockingly, look at Lake Tahoe. Nearly 50,000 residents there might actually lose their longtime electricity source by 2027.
Wait, an entire community losing power. Why?
Because their provider is redirecting that power capacity over the state line to feed Northern Nevada AI data centers instead.
You're kidding.
I wish I was. The terrestrial strain is so severe right now that Google is reportedly discussing this thing called Project Suncatcher with SpaceX.
Project Suncatcher.
Yeah, they want to launch AI data centers into orbit.
Launching data centers into space because Earth literally doesn't have enough water or electricity for them. I mean, that is a terrifying workaround.
It really forces us to look at a very different future. As the AI industry aggressively consumes Earth's physical space, power, and memory, it leaves us with a pretty provocative thought to ponder.
What's that?
Well, will the future of global business inequality be defined simply by who can actually secure the electricity to plug in?
Thanks for watching SpeedyPodz. We'll catch you in the next one.